Okay, we just got the Toyota started. We're waiting to get it to operating temperature. When I checked the antifreeze, it was empty. So it's telling me there's a leak somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where it's at. But before I started it and heated it up, I went ahead and installed the thermostat so it gets done while the engine was cool. And now we're going to go inside and keep an eye on the temperature gauge and see what's going on. But I think it was low on coolant because it was overheating and it was pushing it out. So that might be the reason why the coolant was low. But I skipped the boring part where we gotta wait till it gets to this point because that's takes a pretty while. So now we're just gonna keep an eye on the temperature and see what our symptoms are, if the fans are coming on when they should. I was checking it last night. They were not coming on when they were supposed to, and it could be because they're worn out. Once the fans get worn out, it takes more power to turn them, and they cut out. The relays can't take that kind of power, and they disconnect the circuit so that the fuse doesn't blow. And so on from there. So right now there are no fans. I don't hear no fans, and I'll let you know when I hear the fans. They do come on when the AC compressor is turned on, and they're supposed to stay on as long as the AC is on, but they were shutting off after the AC was on for a few minutes. So I just want to get all the symptoms documented. And see, the mileage is 200,369 miles. So right now we got to operating temperature, and we're going to see how long it takes for us to get to too hot. And it's going to take a little bit longer because now the thermostat's in there. So it doesn't have all that coolant to warm up. It's only warming up half of it, and then when the thermostat opens, we should see it drop a little bit because cool water is going into the block while hot water is going into the radiator, and then it should rise back up, and then from there it may or may not overheat. But we're just going to document it for right now and see where we're at. So right now we're at normal operating temperature. And I don't have my seatbelt on, that's why that light's blinking. It's a seatbelt light. And the door's open because it's hot. That's why the door jar light is on. It's not going to be a picnic out here. It's going to be pretty hot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video to skip all this part because it's going to take up a lot of my memory. And as soon as I start seeing it creep up, I'll go ahead and restart the video. And it'll probably be just a tad bit higher than where it's at right now. So for now, let's pause it. Okay, I let about 5 minutes go by and we're still at operating temperature. I do remember some of the symptoms she was telling me. It was exhibiting that the heater's not heating, that it's still staying kind of cool. So I'm going to test the heater. Oops, test the heater right now. That scared me. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to keep the camera steady and do what I'm supposed to do. Okay, we got the dials all the way to heat. So the heat that wasn't coming through before was because there was no coolant in it. I must have poured at least about a gallon of water before it filled up. So it was rolling around with nothing in it. So I'm not sure if it's because there's a leak or if it's because something wasn't turning on to keep it cool. So when it got to the boiling point, it was just pushing it out the radiator cap. That's what it's supposed to do at a certain temperature, or if it reaches a certain psi, I'm sorry. So once it gets to a certain pressure, it's going to squeeze right through the radiator cap and go into your radiator reservoir, and I'll show you where those are here in a bit. But you got your heat back, so I mean, what I'm touching right now, it's blazing hot. I don't even want to feel it anymore because it's too hot out here. So we know the heat is working. We just got to make sure that the fans are kicking on where they should be. So I haven't seen the temperature gauge drop yet, letting me know that the thermostat opened up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the RPMs a little bit to warm it up even faster and see if we can see it drop. And as you can tell, we are at about 1800 RPMs. I don't got it too high, just a little bit. Yeah, I know this is a long, boring video just to watch a stupid gauge. But I just want to make sure I document what's going on and narrate when the symptoms are and if there are any symptoms. Could be it was just a deal the whole thermostat, but that doesn't explain why there wasn't any coolant in it. Fans still haven't kicked on either. We're already about 8 minutes and 47 seconds. Oh, plus 5 minutes. My bad. So 9 minutes plus 5 is 14 minutes. When the time on the film reaches 10 minutes, I'm going to release the pedal to let it go to normal operating idle. And there's the fans. So that's telling me that the thermostat opened up, let the hot water into the radiator, and the cool water is entered the block. That's usually when the fans come on. So I guess I'm gonna take it for a test drive as soon as I get back, and I'll video that. So far it's operating the way it should. Just don't understand why it didn't have no coolant in it. And I've already checked everything while it was running, and there's no leaks at all. The fan only came on for a short burst. It should have just still kept on right now. But we'll see how it goes. We'll get this part of the water heated up and see what we're looking at. Nice little breeze at least today. Now I'm going to raise the RPMs again. I'm going to pause the video unless something happens. Well, I've been letting it run for about an hour, and as you can see, there are no leaks. No coolant leaks. There's a little drop of oil right there. You can see that little spot right there. That's a little drop of oil, but no coolant leaks. I shut it off about 45 minutes ago, and it needed more water, so I added it to it. So I ran it for 45 minutes now, and the fans are coming on and off the way they should. And the temperature is stable. But what I can't figure out is where the water's going. Not that I can't figure it out. I know where it's going. It's just such a small leak that you can't tell. I mean, even by the idle of the engine. What I think is happening is it has a small head gasket leak. And it's siphoning out just a tad bit water at a time. And sending it out your tailpipe. But it's so small that you can't see any white smoke, and there's no other evidence. There is a thing called a dye test that we can do to it, but we would have to get I think it's like 10 or 15 bucks for the dye test. And what that does is you siphon a little bit of the water or coolant that's inside the radiator. And I have a dye test video that I can send you to show you what's involved in getting the dye test done. And I will call right now to see what it costs to get it, so that we know the exact cost, and we'll have to do that test. If that test, when you see in the video, if it comes back blue, then we're okay, and it's not got a head gasket leak. But if it comes back green, then there's the liquid is detecting low doses of carbon monoxide into the coolant or water, and that's what makes the dye turn green. So that's going to have to be our next step. Alright, that's the end of this video. I will link the other video to this comment section, and we will go from there. Alright, see ya.